Hello, collective. Wendy Joy. Love and light. Peace and joy. Right? I'm adding. When I woke up this morning, I woke up feeling way better and way more energized than I have in a very long time. And I immediately said thank you to my internal universe. Immediately. Because I work in tandem with my insides. So I always go by what they tell me. And usually I get nudges or whispers or pressure in my ear when I'm thinking about certain things that relate to the inner workings of Wendy. And I don't mean my mind, although sometimes. But on this journey that I started on self-healing, right? Not knowing where that was going to lead me. I just knew that I wasn't going to continue to wither away and perish. That was not going to be my fate. And when I realized where I was and what was happening to me, I manifested an opportunity in order to fix that. And the universe, the divine, my spirit team, they all fell in line. And because I was aware and rolling in that direction and trying to right my wrongs and fix my insides, right? It led me on this journey and this path. And I didn't know the power that I had truly, you know what I mean? I just figured that it was something that I was born with, not something that I carried from lifetime to lifetime, or was gifted to me by an ancestor who may not have had an opportunity to utilize the gift. I mean, the possibilities are endless. All I know is that my determination and my motivation and my forward direction, and I did not stop, although I did scream an awful lot. I, cried. I screamed for my mom and for, everybody that loves me up in the spirit realm to help me. And they did. They sent lots of different people and different modalities I didn't know about, all my way that I utilize today. Sound therapy, light therapy, having the ability to perfect my breath work, although like I could regulate my heartbeat to make it so very low that doctor used to say, and pinch me and be like, are you here? And I'm like, ow, yeah, But, people are silly, so I take that in stride. But what I do know is that this morning I woke up feeling on top of the world. And after I thanked my internal universe and I greeted Father, Son, and my light essence, long lost family and friends that greet me every day by the thousands, and I'm so very happy and protected. It's just an amazing feeling. And if you feel that, if you see that, let me know, because I'd be really happy to be a part of your journey, especially where visualization helps you connect your dots so that you are very sure that the line you're making is the line that's directly made for you, right? Because free will might put a little bump in there somewhere along the line. But at this point, I've worked out my ego and I've learned how to sit back and let life naturally flow and continue my positive affirmations and my I ams and my clear thinking about what my future will be, right? Because I see it, I feel it, and I know it. And the progress that I woke up with this morning is, seen more than yesterday's progress. Because yesterday I was still a little bit stiff in some places, where today I have more fluidity. which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, because the more fluid your body is, the more movement you can apply, the more ability that you have not only to sway and bounce back, but keep your balance and your structure firm while it happens. And that could be physically or metaphorically. You know what I mean? Because a literal storm could come and have such gusty winds and, knock a tree down. Or the ground can split open and suck a tree in. And that's like the biggest thing that you would think would stay stationary, right? We're sort of like trees. We've got roots that go down deep, and, our branches do go way high up into the sky. That's our third eye. But we also have the ability of resilience, and how you choose to roll with the feeling, the motion, and everything that comes along with being resilient is how you're going to pave whatever, comes your way. And it could be good, it could be bad, it could be indifferent, it could be anything. It's when you are confident in you, then you could get through anything, including any inner part of you that you may have been running from or trying to hide from, for whatever the reason. And realize that we all needed to go down those roads where we maybe later on feel some type of guilt or shame, but understand that if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't know what being truly on the right path is, what being positive actually really entails, So pat yourself on the back, because you managed to get through a trial. You just didn't realize it. And now you can go back and you can gather that value, and you can let that go. And you can lessen your plate, and you can let your manifestations flow. Always stay upbeat. Always stay happy. Always stay positive. Because you know what? Because this world is filled with so much anything, right? They kind of label it diversity, right? A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit this, a little bit that. We all possess internal control, and we drive our car. So anybody can try to, push it along, but it won't go anywhere until we release the brake. Metaphor. Just think about that. And you know what? I typically associate things with things, because I don't know about anybody else, but if I can assimilate, one to the other, where I may know a little bit more of, and then this way it kind of makes more sense, and then it gives more questions, which is inevitably the name of the game, right? Try to get your questions, provided the knowledge and the wisdom and the guidance and the clarity that you seek. That comes in practice too. Because, sometimes we can get ahead of ourselves. So if you find yourself in that position, which I found myself in that position many times. Like I'm waiting for myself to catch up. But you know what? That was meant for me to learn patience. It was meant for me to roll the way that I do in how I solve problems and come up with solutions and look outside the box and, untwine or tangle, if you will, a knotted line and make it all straight and pretty viewable and easy to penetrate, right? So like you could, like the words, I like it when I look at a word search and the words just pop up at me. It's a grid with a whole bunch of random letters in it. Well, when I look at word search, those words, they just raise. They raise up off the paper. And I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Everybody used to give me their word searches. They would be like, do this. And I didn't realize it then, but I kind of understand now. I'm able to see what lies beyond perception as we know it right now. Because when you look at a word search, you see a piece of paper and it's got black letters in a box, right? Random letters, lines and lines of them, columns and columns. But yet, those words that were hidden in there popped up and showed me where they were. Pretty much my whole life. Like, not just word searches, but, where the road is elevated. Or I raise on the road, so I get a better perception of what is ahead. And I can pick and choose. Does that happen for you? It can't just be me. I mean, granted, insight, right, alerts you to different circumstances and situations that you once went through. So, like, you can see them coming. So maybe because I was in a different type of energy before I started to ascend, I was able to recognize the dense energy that may have been around me. But now that I'm higher in vibration, I recognize and resonate with things further up the chain. And it is illuminating, it is exhilarating, and it feels like home. It really does. It feels like home. And I'm glad to be here. And I cannot wait to see what's in store and how it's presented, in what form and in what fashion, because I'm not boxing myself to just being an established writer or heavy on the book sales and heavy on the enlightenment skills, or teaching children about spirituality through the Emerald Tablets, or even having, partnerships customized, personalized, whether it be with one or a group and me, because my aspirations are further than that. That was my goal when I first started healing. And I'm looking past that now. I have not yet achieved all of it, but I will. But I'm still looking past it, because I know that my reach is further than that. I want to help people live. I want to help people learn. I think it's important to know proper math and proper speech, regardless of what tongue you like Italian, Irish, Dutch, English, whatever. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of other languages as well. It just so happens I'm Italian, Irish, and Dutch. And I live in America. Okay, and I speak English. Regardless, I've known Puerto Ricans and Hispanics and Cubans and, Russians and Germans. I've known a whole lot of people that speak very well the language that they were taught. Their meaning very clearly and understood, right? And I believe that is important. I believe that you build more so internal character by knowing that you have already achieved what people said you couldn't learn. And not only achieved it, but surpassed it. They stopped teaching cursive. Why, I don't know. Maybe they think that's an unteachable skill. But I'm here to tell you I know how to do cursive. I always write in cursive. And when I want everybody to read what it is that I have to say, I will print it. because I do realize that not everybody is on the cursive level. Different times. So all I can say is adapt, right? So I'm still looking towards the future in order to figure out the best way to do that. And also to incorporate healthy, wholesome food. Not chemicaled, not tainted, not modified, not, tampered with. But where we nourish the earth and the earth nourishes us in return. That we play our role in earth life cycle. Because we have a plan. We consume her goods. Our body uses what it could and then expels what is needed for the earth. Do you see how that cycle goes? There's cycles everywhere, and that's just one. And it's not like a regimented thing where, you're forced. You're not forced. You have free will. But it does aid you in the end when you think larger than yourself. And when I say that to people, sometimes they get mad at me, but I mean no disrespect by that. Because you are correct. We are all in charge of our reality and who we are and what direction we go and what we have around us, like in our environment and stuff. But I've learned from being in a multitude of environments that the healthiest one is the one where you can thrive, where you can breathe, where you can clearly see, where you don't have to worry about the nourishment that you eat, that you consume, right? Or the sun's rays being too strong and hurting you through a cracked ozone. So my aspirations and my reach is very far. Thank you for sharing with me my visions while I try to encourage you not to give up and to continue to hold your faith and journey your walk. If you need me, reach out because I'm always available and I am never far. My lovely collective, I am sending you clarity, wisdom, life, light, love, laughter, and fun. And everything that's golden and good in between. We wouldn't want to leave out not one blessing that between the divine, the creator, and our wonderful mother Gaia, planet Earth, provides to us. Live, love, life. Blessed be. I love you.